Hello, my name is Kobe House, and this is my informative speech. Today, I would like to be talking to you about being emotionally distant. Have you ever felt like you've been emotionally distant? Do you ever feel like there's been times where you've been with your friends or with family or just in a social gathering and you feel like you aren't yourself or you feel like you're the odd one out? You feel like you're not necessarily like the people around you, or like you can't have a genuine conversation with someone without feeling a type of weary in your body. People who have a hard time associating with people in life are usually because they have problems stemming from their past/childhood. So it really detours and it really plays a huge role in the way that they act and feel. The main things that are playing a factor in having a lot of trauma or having or being emotionally distressed is past trauma, childhood attachment issues, fear of vulnerability, or even a recent breakup. Now, I would like to expand on those things because those 3 points are really the reason why I feel like people are not feeling like they can be themselves. When we look at past trauma, we have to realize that we're not just talking about sexual abuse. We're not just talking about physically abused. We're talking about things like parents fighting all the time. We're talking about single parent households. And of course, you have the main ones like rape, abuse, neglect. But those are the most common. We have to really look at the bigger picture. Research at UCLA shows that people who grew up in a single parent household or are always seeing their kids fighting have a 50% chance of being emotionally distant. The next one is childhood attachment. Research has shown that from Harvard University, things like moving away from a very good friend at a young age, or moving state to state, place to place at a young age, or even just losing a loved one at a young age could really detour a child's mind and how it functions. And then we have problems like children not being able to openly express how they feel to their parents without getting a feedback that is negative or getting punished, which could lead to getting a feeling that you can't express yourself anymore, or you can't tell someone how you feel without being. And then lastly, we have breakups. Now, of course, breakups may seem the most common, but when we really talk about breakups, we are looking at the other side of why they broke up. Like, were they arguing? Were they fighting? Was there real love in the relationship? That could also lead to emotional distress and emotional distance. Even if they were just in a toxic relationship where they felt like the other person was judging them or the other person used to manipulate them, that can also play a huge factor in being emotionally distant, because now it feels like you cannot be yourself. Now it feels like if you do anything or say anything wrong, then then you're gonna be looked at funny, or you're gonna be looked at like you're not normal. But in reality, you are normal. You just have problems stemming from your past that won't allow you to continually to grow or move forward. And by altering, I mean that it's actively changing the way that you think, or it's actively reminding you of the things that have happened in your past. So now that it reminds you of your past that has already happened. So anytime that you get into that situation again, or anytime you see a similar situation, now your mind is constantly reminding you of the things that have already happened. And so it automatically triggers an effect, or it automatically triggers a response in your brain. In conclusion, I just want to say that if you feel like you're emotionally distant, or you feel like there's a reason why you don't fit in, it's not your fault. And it's okay that you don't fit in, because at the end of the day, there's always a reason as to why something happens. There's always a why to a how. And some people may not realize that they're being emotionally distant until somebody tells them. And if that's the case, if you don't realize that you're being emotionally distant, if somebody does tell you that you're being emotionally distant, that's not a bad thing. And you're able to get the problem fixed, then you're not a problem and everything will be okay. Thank you.